All right, all right. Everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Tang clan. We are down one Tang clanner. Our very own Diana. It's her birthday weekend, and she's got the flu, so she won't be joining us this week. But I'm here with my co-host Jeff, and we got a guy here, Jeff. You may not know who he is. He's an up and coming pool player. Guys, we are. This is the biggest guest we've ever had. He's a special guest. He's one of the most respected minds in the game of billiards. He's a world-class professional player, national champion, one of the most influential instructors the game has ever seen. He's the creator of one of the most comprehensive training systems in pool, a best-selling author, a YouTube educator with a global following, and the man who famously helped Joe Rogan elevate his pool game. Beyond the table, he's a gifted artist, free thinker, and an ambassador for Q Sports worldwide. Max Eberle, welcome to the Tang clan, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Robert. And hi, Jeff.
Hey,
great to be here.
Man, thank you for coming on. This is a big get for us. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but a couple of weeks ago we had on Greg Hogue, who's friends with Jeff, and Jeff just went through his training system, and we're kind of like in this little training thing right now. So who better to have on than a guy we feel is probably one of the top, if not the top, instructors in the game as it sits right now. You.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate the warm introduction. And I've been following you for quite a while, Robert, the gangster of pool.
Man,
and I really enjoy. You're really funny and got some great stuff. Always get a kick out of it, and appreciate promoting pool. If
you don't mind, I'm gonna go take another blood pressure pill right now, man. That's that's a complete honor, man. I always think of you. I put out a video one time. I put out a funny video, and you hit on it, and then Ralph Eckert hit on it, and I was like, just blown away that there's people like out there like you guys, viewing my stuff and enjoying it. And that absolutely means the world to me, man, because I love pool so much. I've been playing it for decades upon decades. And now it's like this whole thing giving back and doing something positive and putting pool out there and educating people on the way it should be, with guys like yourself and other old school pool players that the world doesn't seem to know right now. I brought it up briefly before. It seems like the game is more eyes on it right now, but it's kind of like a popcorn summer blockbuster hit. It's everybody's talking about Fader and Josh Filler and all these guys in their 20s, and AJ Manis is the new hot player right now, and it just seems like people forgot about the history and the roots, and the guys who've been out there in the trenches, doing it, like yourself. So anytime we can bring light to that, that's the goal of everything for me, first and foremost.
Well, hey, we appreciate it, man, and you deserve more followers. You're going to get a ton more, I'm sure. I'll share. Absolutely, yeah, you'll have a big show here.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I was just telling Jeff, the little clips I was posting to you and teasing that you were coming on, it's the best we've ever done view-wise. And just because the eyes of you coming on, we had more and more. And I was posting clips of Jeff training, and even those were doing great. So it's all inclusive, man. You've already brought eyes to us, and definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. And let me give a shout out to BC Billiards in Sebring, Florida, where I'm at right now. I'm in the office. Shout out from Bill, the owner. And he does a lot for pool. He brought Christina Takacha in this weekend to do challenge games.
Awesome.
And last day, beautiful town here. Sebring International Raceway is here. Mm-hmm. And it's like one of the top retirement cities. And he has a great little pool hall here. It's like 9 foot, 8 foot, and 7 foot tables. And it's just beautiful. I went bass fishing today. I stuck around. I was going to go back to in Bradenton, for a tournament, but I was like, man, I'm here in Central Florida. I love bass fishing, and I met a bass fisherman yesterday. He's like a legend. He offered to take me out for free today, and he did. And so I stayed. And we went fishing today. I'll post some stuff tomorrow. I caught a fish and filmed it, so it'll be up tomorrow. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. BC Billiards in Sebring. Everybody, check it out when you're in Central Florida.
Who's a better fisherman, you or Shane Van Boning?
I think I would probably get Shane in bass fishing, although he probably doesn't really. He's an amazing lake trout fisherman. He'll be great at whatever he does if he ever decides. In fact, he's been over here a couple times to BC Billiards, and he was asking a couple of the guys about the lakes around here. So as far as I know, Scott Frost is still the best bass fisherman. He's got all the toys and the boat, and he's really good. He gave me some lures when I was in Arizona around May, I think. Gave me a swim bait pole and a couple swim baits and stuff, and another reel. And because he's so busy working, he said he wants somebody who's going to use them. So I thought that was real cool.
Yeah,
it was definitely really cool.
Those ain't no cheap lures either. Those ain't no Sports Authority lures.
Yeah, no, I think it's like $100 lure, $120 lure, big 9-inch swim bait. I ended up losing it, like in the reservoir. I was out there. It's a famous reservoir in Texas, and they're catching big bass like all the time, like 13, 14 pound, 15 pound, 16. Actually, I ran into Josh Jones. He's like the real famous big bass catcher. I ran into him at the dock out there. He just happened to be walking up to his car for a lunch break. And I was like, oh, hey, you're Josh Jones. You know, and
that's awesome.
Got a picture with him. And this guy, Kyle Hall, was there, like Buddy Hall. He has like a 17 or 16 pound bass. You can find it. Just Google it. Kyle Hall, big bass. They're fishing with him. I said hi to him. But that's, I fish like, when I'm traveling, I try to go to some famous reservoirs and catch a big bass, but I'm still playing pool mostly. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm out there. It's just when I have an opportunity, I like to fish, but don't always have that opportunity because you got to be dedicated when you're playing pool.
Absolutely,
you got to play and compete, and and then lessons. Also, I love the chance to give lessons. And Jeff, did you say that you took my training program, or was that somebody else's program? I heard you mention.
No, I just got back from Tulsa. I spent a couple days with Greg Hogue.
Very good. Yeah, Red Door Training Center.
Yeah.
He
has some very nice things to say about you
as well. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, and he was doing really good on the World Nine Ball Tour a couple years ago when he was playing a lot of events. He was like real close to actually the Moscone Cup rankings. He was up high, wasn't he?
Yeah, very close. He was basically the first person out.
That's right. That's not easy to get ranked high enough. Actually, the Moscone, we'll talk about that later. But the whole made it real tough to get on because it's not based on the rankings except for the top 3 spots.
Right.
That we can talk about. But it's tough. It's tough to get close. You got to play a lot of events. Like right now, they're playing in Pattaya. I think it starts here in the next couple of days. Which it takes a lot of money to go around the world and play in all these tournaments. So that's one of the big factors involved.
Yeah.
Just how expensive to play in all the pro events.
I forgot his name. He was that Spanish kid. But he was the whole thing about his YouTube channel was him in the struggle, to angle himself into events closer to him because travel was just so crazy. It's not like you can hit those deep European events and the Estonias and the Gibraltar stops and all that. So it was just the struggle for him, just trying to get into the small local events, man. It's real.
Even the small local events, if you have to travel, 5 hours by car, you're looking at a close to $1,000 weekend just doing that.
Yeah.
And that's a semi-local event. I mean, it gets expensive quick.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have like a motorhome or a van so you don't pay a hotel. That's always good. But then a lot of the events you got to fly to, so that's not really an option.
Yeah.
Right.
Max,
But
let's no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What was? No, I was going to say let's.
Sterling Gaming was sponsoring me in 2003, 4, and 5, and that's when I was ranked the highest in my career. When I was ranked 5th on tour for 2 years in a row, that sponsorship was great. Sterling Gaming sponsored me for 2 years. Team Fury. They paid 100% of my expenses for every tournament, and I got to keep 100% of my prize money.
Wow.
So that's why it's really important to have sponsorship, because then you're playing in all the events. You can dedicate your all your time to practice. Just eat right, practice, work out, and you're not worried about getting to the events or anything, right? So that's great. All the pros should have that. If you're a touring pro, everybody should have that.
Yeah,
that's why it always made me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, it's just something that a lot of pool players don't know how to do, because they learn how to play pool. They don't learn how to market themselves. They don't learn how to be their own business and everything else. And you've got to be the cook, chief, and bottle washer. You've got to do everything, and it's a lot to take in. It is definitely dedication on every end of it.
Why we see those videos with Fader where he's doing the life of a pool player videos, and it's that's not reality. It's most of the time you're crammed in a room with like 3 other guys, just trying to split cost, and you're eating 99 off the 99-cent menu at McDonald's and all that, and driving the smallest compact car possible. So it's the luxury days, like what he's going through now, and like what Max was saying when he was sponsored by Sterling, that the 100% days, man, that's obviously the ultimate goal, but that's you got to be the top speed out there doing that.
I've had some really good friends help me out the last couple of years. Todd Beal in Ohio, thank you very much for all the help. And Dode Overton, a couple of my real good friends from Ohio have been helping me out, either backing me or lend me money to get to big events. So I wanted to acknowledge them for that. And so many other people in my career have helped me out. I want to thank everybody for all the help over the years. I think other sports have problems like this too. Like, I mean, even golf, like on the Nike tour, that was tough. Or motorsports, guys are out there doing any kind of. There's all kinds of different sports that require, marketing and sponsorship. And we can learn from all of that. But once you get like your pro card, I think, see, the difference is this was 20 years ago. If you were ranked number 100 on the PGA Tour, you're guaranteed $1 million minimum in endorsements alone before you even hit your first golf ball of the year on the tour. So that's a big difference compared to the Pro Pool Tour. Like if you're ranked 100 on the World 9-Ball Tour or the Predator Pro Billiard Series, you're not guaranteed anything, right? Just for being out there playing. So hopefully that'll change by 5 years. That'll be the case, where everybody on tour is not only sponsored, because that's really just underwriting. Sponsorship is having your stuff paid, but real sponsorship is where you're actually getting paid money on top of the expenses, like just to do what you do or to promote the company. But that's something else, isn't it? Like guaranteed $1 million to be top 100 on the PGA Tour. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I know
pool players
you brought up racing a bit, and that's something I'm into. That's something I did a lot when I was younger, and it used to be the working man sport. And you can be just a regular Joe Schmo and just know how to wrench on cars, and you can show up to the track every week. Now it's you got to put that money into it, and now it's like a rich boy sport. You got to have the silver spoon to be somebody who progresses across the levels now, man. It's definitely getting tougher and tougher out there.
Bass fishing is the same way. I follow some bass channels like Randy Blaucott on YouTube. He talks about the difference between back when he was a top pro 20 years ago. He said now it's only the rich kids can really fish professionally out there, you know. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's expensive, right? To do.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot involved in it, but pool, there's just the travel expenses are real big, and then of course you got to pay for your house or your what and have a table to practice on, good training facility. But you know, if you really want it, then go for it. And you know, there's a bunch of people trying to make a pro tour. Like, I've been involved so long, I pretty much seen almost everybody try to make a pro tour, and people call me on the phone, tell me about what they're trying to do. So I've kind of like seen everybody try.
Yeah.
Over. And it's still not quite there yet, but it's looking good, right? As far as the eyeballs pool is getting.
Yeah.
And then another coming out. You guys know about the movie coming out, or that they're in production for now, or pre-production?
No, I've missed.
Have you heard about that? Robert De Niro and some hot Latina actress. She's in a bunch of movies. She's like in her early 20s. Well, he's going to be like the Paul Newman character, and she's like the young Tom Cruise hustler.
Right.
And he takes her under his wing. You know, I don't know who wrote the script. Somebody wrote the script, and they're actually going to do this movie. So, I mean, Robert De Niro, he's a big name. I know a lot of people aren't really fans of him as a person anymore.
His politics,
but not right. But he's still a Robert De Niro, right? So I don't know if the movie, hopefully, it's pretty good.
You know, I always feel like, look, if it's a pool movie, I'm going to watch it. You know, Pool Hall Junkies isn't. It's something that would show on the USA channel at like after midnight, but still, it's a pool movie, and we enjoy it. But man,
that's like that's my top pool movie right there.
Yeah,
I love it. Mars Callahan did a great job. I'm good.
Yeah,
with
it.
And it's a fun movie.
Yeah, that speech from Christopher Walken, man, that's the best.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I moved out to LA in late 2001. Right after that movie came out, right after they had the premiere. And I went out to Hollywood Billiards. I became the house pro. And they had Mars would come in there. He came in finally like in a wheelchair because he had like a sickness back then. I think he's doing pretty good now. But I met Mars. I met his co-writer for that film, Chris Corso. And he helped me a lot. Like he introduced me to the people at I think it's Beverly Hills Billiards. Billiards distributor supplier in Beverly Hills, so they would hook me up with lessons and stuff, and that was a great 7 years of my life in LA and Hollywood. I got to meet so many celebrities, movie stars, and music industry people. They would come into Hollywood Billiards just to hang out and everything. And then when somebody needed a pool like player or consulting for a film or a commercial or a TV show, I would get the call. So that was an amazing gig.
That's
Ended up doing a lot of TV shows. I wasn't necessarily on the show, but I would help out with the the shots. I would shoot shots.
Nice.
That's how that whole Jordan thing came about, where I ended up auditioning for that and got the part to do the pool shots for Matthew Perry for the Hanes commercial.
Wow.
So if you go to YouTube, type in Michael Jordan, Matthew Perry, Hanes commercial, you'll see it, and they're playing pool. And about halfway through, you see a Mass A shot. That was my Mass A shot. Right? But it was great because I got to meet Jordan backstage, talk to him for like 5 minutes. And Matthew Perry used to hang out at the bar like a block from my house, so I'd see him once in a while in there. And Christina Aguilera was in there one night.
Wow.
And I tried to get close to her on her way out, but her entourage was like pushing me away. But when she left, I said, "Hey, I want to paint you," because I was doing more art back then. And she goes, "Oh, did you give them my card?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, I'll check it out." And waved goodbye to her as she was driving away in her SUV. I was like, "Oh my God, Christina Aguilera." But I never got a call from her. But that little Jewish guy, she ended up marrying. Was there? They ended up getting married and divorced.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of stories from Hollywood. That was a fun time, and flying out of LAX to all the tournaments, and it was cool. That was a great pool hall. Of course, Hard Times Billiards is like 30 minutes from there. Used to be, right? Did you guys ever go there? Hard Times?
No, never been out that way.
That's the same one they used in the movie?
No, which movie?
Pool Hall Junkies? That was Hard
No,
Times,
that
wasn't
was
it?
EO's Billiards in Salt Lake City, which is closed now. But another story, I was out there like 25 years ago, kind of on the road, visiting friends, and ended up making some money gambling at EO's, and became friends with the owner, and met a waitress there who was real nice, and kind of really good memories about EO's. And then that ends up being the pool hall they use for the movie Pool Hall Junkies. So I got a lot of good memories for me there for Pool Hall Junkies. Also,
Nice.
That's like a cult classic for the college kids. I'm sure you guys know that. That's like They kind of hit a cult classic. They did a pretty good job. It's a pretty funny movie and entertaining. But yeah, I think if we get another movie, it'll be good.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's I just obviously De Niro's it would definitely bring some eyes to it. I just hope it's not cheesy and they don't do like those like cutaway scenes when you see like the pool shots and everything like that. There was one they just had on Amazon with Freddie Prinze and
oh yeah.
Man, it was bad. It was one of these ones
been out for a while.
You feel like it sets pool back when you see shit like that. Anyway, Max, I got some questions for you. Obviously, I wanted to just paint the picture on like first how did you get your start? Where did pool first come into your life?
Yeah, well, I was kind of born into it because my grandpa was a hustler in the Great Depression and beyond. And, he was traveled the country, made money, sent it back home to the wife and kids. He was a 100-ball runner, 15-ball rotation. He could play one pocket. He said, a lot of guys think they can play one pocket, and they would challenge me to one pocket. They were like one pocket specialists, but I could beat them at one pocket too. So, I mean, he was a great all-around player, hustler. And then my dad loved pool. And when he was 16, he talked the YMCA into selling him their pool table for $100 with all the cues and balls. He told him that the pool table is bringing the wrong element into the YMCA. So why don't you sell it to me? So they did. They sold it to him. And so my dad, they got the table. My grandpa knocked out the wall in the basement, put up an I-beam in the basement, installed the pool table. And then that was the table that I learned on.
Oh, wow.
So I've been around pool since I was a little kid because that's where I'm from, Dover, Ohio. And I didn't really start playing until I could really reach the table, maybe when I was 5 or 6, when I started playing. But before that, we'd always run around. My brother, Steven, and I would run around the table and throw the balls around. So I think you get a lot of experience, like when I could barely see over the table, throwing the balls down to try to make them in the pocket by my brother, and he'd throw them back. And at eye level, you can see how the balls react, and that just goes into your brain. So by the time I started playing, my dad and my grandpa, my uncle Dave, my cousin Danny, so my grandpa had a game every Wednesday night, ring game, 9-ball, quarter on the 5, quarter on the 9. Mm-hmm. So that was my first gambling experience, and I won a bunch of money. My pockets were filled with quarters. I took them upstairs, dumped them out on the living room floor in front of my grandma. And she goes, "Oh dear." She knew that something was started right there, And then I started like getting into pool. I knew I wanted to be a pro when I was 12 because I would see Mike Siegel and Nick Varner, Earl Strickland on TV, Buddy Hall, wearing a tuxedo, playing for $40,000 at the Resorts International. And then 2 years later, or let's see, when I was 16, The Color Money came out, 1986. Or I think I was 14, but I already been playing for a couple of years. I knew I wanted to be a pro, and then The Color Money comes out, and then I was like, yeah, this is doing the right thing. The pro. A lot of guys started wanting to be a pro when that movie came out. A lot of guys in my generation, that really affected the whole generation. pool hall was opening up every day somewhere in the U.S., like an upscale billiard cafe. And then,
something.
No, it was amazing. But I grew up in Northern Virginia, so the U.S. Open was in Southern Virginia, Norfolk. So I started going down there to play in the junior qualifiers and going to the U.S. Open to watch the pros. And that's what really did it, to be around all the legends and watch them play in the U.S. Open every year was amazing. Then I started playing and when I was 18, I started playing in that, which was great. You know, and I think when I won the collegiate, that got me free entry into it a couple times. And Charlie Williams was a junior down there in Newport News, so we would play against each other in the qualifiers, and I beat him. But I told the owner, I said, you got to sponsor this kid. You got to bring him also, because there was a 14 and under division. So he played in that one. I played in the 15 to 18. Then our second year going, we were roommates. We both won. He won his division. I won my division. And we ended up going on the road a few years later, in 1995, all around Florida, because we heard C.J. Wiley beat Mario Cruz out of like $140,000. So we were like, let's go play Mario Cruz and win all this money. And we did. We ended up playing. I played him, and it was a tough match. He was ahead on me 12 games after like 10 or 12 hours, because we're playing 25 ahead for 5,000. Back then, it was all the headsets. You didn't play these races to 21.
Right.
It was always 7 ahead or 10 ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario thought he could outdistance me, and so he wanted to play 25 ahead. And I brought it back down to even after 20 hours, and we switched it to 15 ahead. And then it took me 10 hours to finally beat him, and I got in the zone. And so that's probably my best gambling story, when I went down there and I won that headset in 30 hours. The cool thing was you weren't allowed to take a break. If you did, you had to give up all the money. So if you were hungry, you had to eat while the other guy was shooting, or sleep while they're shooting. But that was good. I'd like to see more headsets, or play more headsets. You know, how many of these races, even if it's a race of 30, end up like Hill or close to Hill?
Yeah.
But nobody really definitively taking the lead. But a headset, you got to be ahead 10 games or 15 games before you can get the money.
Yeah, you got to put somebody away.
Yeah. Sometimes what happened fast, the guy might win 10 ahead in half an hour, like a Tony Watson. That guy was like the Earl Strickland of my generation. Yeah, he was unbelievable. Ask anybody who knew Tony Watson, and he's just one of the greatest players, really, of all time. He used to play fast and just fire balls in from everywhere. And he's still around. He's from North Carolina. I don't think he's playing as much as he did. But he was a great talent. And I did gamble with him once. We played 7 ahead for 500. He laughed at me because I wanted to play him. I said, I'll play you 7 ahead for 500. He just laughed, because he's playing for thousands all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had was 500. It was like the last money in my pocket. So he just laughed. He said, okay, let's play. And we played for like 6 hours. I was 20 back then. We ended up even, and then quitting when we were even, because it was real late. It was only $500. But anyway, I'm got any more questions?
Absolutely. So when you grow up in the game and you have this early success and all that, when does it occur to you that you want to obtain like this mastery of the game, to where you want to become more of a instructor and helping people and determining like these methods that ultimately become, your training system that you have now?
Actually, no, that's a great question. I first started doing it kind of as a way to help. It was kind of a donation at an old folks home. It was like a few blocks from my house, the Sunrise Retirement Home in Arlington, Virginia. So there was the old people had a beautiful pool table, but they'd just be sitting in there doing nothing. So I started going over there and helping them, teaching them how to play, just for free. I don't know if it was because I wanted to or someone suggested it, but I liked I like going over there and helping them. And then, so I got a little experience teaching. And then, you know, I figured I could make some money teaching. So I started offering lessons around Arlington. So I made little flyers and business cards. And it just started as a business, another way to make money besides playing in tournaments and stuff. But I found that I love to teach. And as far as like mastering the game, that was just something I wanted from the very beginning. Once my grandpa, watching my grandpa and him telling me about Willie Mosconi and how, like, if he wanted to move the cue ball 6 inches, he'd move it 6 inches. If he wanted to move it 8 inches, he'd move it 8 inches. So that was like from the very beginning, I was trying to get the cue ball to land on a dime because that was the standard, according to my grandpa telling me about Mosconi. My grandpa had amazing cue ball control. So when you approach something like trying to get that good at it when you're a kid, then that's just where your head's at. And back then we didn't have YouTube. There were AccuStats videos, but you really had to dig hard to get more information.
You had to send away from them from the Billiard Digest.
Billiards Digest, or like Chan Witt Jr. was a great champion. He won the first BCA Junior Nationals in 1989, and he was like a prodigy. Been playing since he was 1.5 years old. He's like the Shane Van Boning before Shane came. And he was on Sunkissed Kids, Incredible Sunday, all these national shows. And I read about him in Pool and Billiard Magazine and Billiards Digest. And I was like, oh, this kid's the best junior in the country. I was like, I'm the best junior. I want to get out there and play this guy and beat him. So I ended up going to Pete Sinkler's Junior National Championships in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. You know, guys like Coltrane, Tony Watson, Charlie Williams, Mike Wilson from Maryland, Corey Deuel. A lot of the guys were going over there. It was the National 9-Ball Championship before the BCA even started. And so that was the big junior tournament. And it was only 3 hours for me in Arlington, right, to Philadelphia. So I met Chan. I ended up playing him in the finals. He beat me 9-8. I had to beat him twice, but he won 9-8. And so we became friends. I met his dad. His dad trained him. So I got invited to do an exhibition with him down in Newport News at Long's Billiards. And so I played him straight pool and 9-ball. And I either beat him in straight pool and he beat me in 9-ball or vice versa. But that's where Charlie Williams was a little kid. He was like, I think he was 12 at the time. And he was there because his mom owned a little restaurant, bikini dancing bar in Newport News with a pool table. So Charlie had already played on the bar table, but he never played on a 9-foot table. So he was there watching the exhibition. And after the exhibition, I played with him for like 3 hours. And I was like, dang, this kid shoots real straight. And he had never hit a ball on a 9-foot table, but he's making balls. I'm like, damn, kid, you could be world champion one day. He's like, oh, okay. And then we became friends. And that's how that whole thing came about. Then Chan won the Junior Nationals, I think that very year. And I ended up, finally, I beat Chan in the finals when I was 18 in the Junior Nationals. But his father worked with me even before I won that. So my competition's dad was helping me with my fundamentals.
Wow.
My alignment and stuff. He said, yeah, we don't want to beat scrubs. We want our competition to be great, and we want to beat great players. And so he really helped me with my alignment. If you ever saw Chan play, he had like perfect alignment, like his foot positioning, his arm straight up and down, everything, the angles. Even Alan Hopkins said he had better form than any of the pros, and that he was going to be world champion by the time he was like 17 or 18. And he always hit the ball on the third practice stroke. So it was like clockwork. His practice routine, his practice strokes, and everything. Wow.
So yeah, what this guy showed you is that, do you take a part of that and implement that into your training now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a big part of my growth as a pool player and about the fundamentals. And of course, watching like Nick Varner, Mike Siegel, Buddy Hall, Earl Strickland, and then incorporating what Chan taught me, because my arm was more angled in. I was shooting from under my body with my arm angled in. So Chan got me to line up, get my arm straight out and shoot under my arm and line up my feet. And so I was a real stickler on that, especially like when I was 25. I was doing exactly what he said. And actually I was in the zone, like crazy zone back then. I was just like, everything was so easy. I was playing 6-9 hours a day. I didn't have a job. I was teaching, playing all the local tournaments around like Rockville, Maryland, Arlington, Virginia, and that was enough. I was living in the my stepdad's basement, and so I didn't have to pay for rent. But I made enough money to get by playing pool. And then I went to college. My stepdad paid for that, except for one semester. Winning the junior nationals, they gave me $3,500 scholarship. So wow. I did pay for one semester on my own, which my stepdad Tom, he was happy with that. Which I ended up getting a degree. I was majoring in art, and I was getting straight A's, but it was taking up too much time from pool. I had to decide between art and pool. And I was like, I don't know any, the starving artist. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make money as an artist, so I'm going to focus on pool. Plus, I wanted to play pool, so I changed my major to geography. And wow. Actually, I designed a T-shirt for the geography department. I did this elaborate drawing. It said, "Without geography, the world would still be flat." And I drew a flat with a dragon going around, and I still have it somewhere. Kind of a funny side note, but yeah, I ended up getting my degree.
No, I'm good. That's just funny.
Just real quick, I want to read on, obviously we're talking to Max Eberle. You can find Max Eberle on all of his socials. He's on TikTok and Instagram at the official Max Eberle, Facebook and YouTube at Max Eberle. He's the author of 2 books. Obviously, the most famous one is Zen Pool, Awaken the Master Within. Also, he has Play Pool in the Zone, System Strategies, Ideas, and Methods for how to control the cue ball. His best piece of training systems that he has now is obviously he has the Powerful Pool DVD, which is the same as his website, propoolacademy.com. And tell me if this is right, Max. It says lifetime access is $200, or you can do 5 monthly payments of $40.
Yeah.
And he also, he's so confident in this Pro Pool Academy. They offer 100% money back guarantee. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that's a product that somebody stands behind when they offer a guarantee like that, I don't know what is.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
No problem. No problem.
A lot of testimonials on that, on people improving and really appreciating the website. There's content. There's like 33 hours of video instruction, 15 courses, everything from fundamentals to pre-shot routine, cue ball control, all the basic skills, strategy. So there's a lot there, and it took years to create all that.
What I'm a fan of is your YouTube channel. Obviously, I live and die with YouTube, and a lot of the stuff you have on YouTube. Matter of fact, one of the things that I really was diving into lately that I messaged you about was a game that your friend came up with, but you're playing it on the video, and that's that I took away how to play it from the video, which was rotation continuous, or is it continuous? Continuous rotation.
Yeah,
rotation continuous.
Danny Kuykendall from Orange County. He owned Danny K's.
Great
pool hall, and he sold it. But he invented that. It's basically 15 ball rotation. Every ball is worth 1 point. You go to like 100 points, and it's total offense. There's no safeties. So, but every time somebody misses, it's ball in hand for the incoming player. And actually, I played Joshua Filler that about a year and a half ago. Danny at Griff's, he gave us a bunch of money to play, and so I asked Josh to play, and it was pretty competitive actually. He ended up winning 100-51, but it was a lot of fun. It was his first time playing it, and I don't even think he's played much rotation in his life. Much 15-ball rotation. I'm sure he's played it a little bit, but he loved the game. And I think at the Derby or one of these big tournaments recently, Danny had a match. It's called K-ball.
Yeah, they were playing some decent money matches with it this past Derby.
Okay, yeah. So that's Danny Kuykendall's game. It's a lot of fun because 15-ball rotation is my favorite game because I learned that from my grandpa because that's what they played for money back in the 30s and 40s. Every single pool hall had a ring game open table, but it wasn't 9-ball. It was 15-ball, and it was pill pool. So, like, you know, everybody, you pick your pills, 2 pills, 1 pill for the breaking order, your playing order. The other one is your money ball. And if you make your money ball, everybody pays you.
Mm-hmm.
If you make somebody else's money ball, then they got to pay you. Right. So, and if they make yours, you got to pay them. So, but if you can run the balls in 15-ball rotation, playing pill pool or ring game, then you can win the money. So my grandpa would go into the pool hall, get a newspaper. This is before cell phones, right? So he'd just watch the open game, find out who the best player is, and then when the best player won a game, he would jump into the ring game because that means that now he's in front of the best player, so he can control the game by controlling the best player. And then win the money that way. But he was a great hustler, but he was a great player also. So he's a legend. Pop Charles Eberle. I told Freddie Bentivigno came out with a book, the Encyclopedia of Pool Hustlers, and he made a post asking for any pool hustlers that he should put in the book. And I emailed him, told him about my grandpa, but he didn't put him in the book. So that book is one player short. But my grandpa was awesome. So that was my favorite game growing up, which is good because if you can run out in 15-ball rotation, then 9-ball is super easy.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the first 5 balls are the toughest balls in 15-ball rotation because everything's so tied up, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to work around everything on the first 5. But once you get down to the last 10 balls, now the table's open more, and you have breathing room. You know, feel okay now it's a lot easier, right? So keep that in mind because a lot of players and coaches will push players into starting with like that 3-ball drill where you run 1, 2, 3. If you can run 3 balls, then you add the 4th.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then 5. But I look at it the other way. Try to run 15 balls. And then it's so much easier to run 9 or 10, right?
Absolutely.
But that's a good drill. The 3 balls is okay. I'm not saying that's bad because it can teach you the basics of position play. But when it comes down to it, you got to become more accurate in your position play. And that's what 15-ball will teach you. So I used to play 15-ball by myself in the basement and just end up getting to the point where I could run out, spreading them open pretty good. And it turns out that's what the Filipinos do. And they've been doing for decades, playing, they call it 61, because where each ball is worth the number value of the ball. And that is a great game. So you have K-ball, you have 61. And then you also have Joe Tucker from New Jersey, who came out with American rotation. 1 through 10 are worth 1 point, and then the 11 through the 15 are worth 2 points each. And that's a great game, too. And he got Mark Griffin to put up some money for a bunch of tournaments. It lasted for a couple of years. He had something at the Derby. But I got my own version of 15-ball out there that I'm planning on coming out with eventually. But everybody, if you want to get good at 9-ball, start playing 15-ball rotation. That's what I tell everybody. Yeah,
that's what I noticed. I've been last few weeks. I've been starting off. I used to start off with a couple drills, but I've been starting off with the 15-ball, and it's definitely like you said. You a lot of maneuvering, short shots. A lot of short control of the cue ball, and then it opens up, and then it's like you're playing the regular game. Yeah, I've been loving doing it. I want to play it with somebody else, to incorporate the factor with the safeties and everything like that. So it's I really love that, and it's that stuff you can all find on Max's YouTube channel. On top of his training methods, propoolacademy.com. 100% money back guarantee. You know, we were talking about the testimonials, and one of the most glowing testimonials you'll ever receive is from Joe Rogan. You know, so tell us a little bit about that. You know, how did that relationship get started between you and Joe Rogan?
Well, that was from Hollywood Billiards days. So, you know, like it was a great pool hall. And one day Joe came in just and practice. He was practicing by himself, and I noticed he had, you know, he brought in a nice cue and case, and you could tell he was a serious player. And so I was over there with the manager, Jim Burt, and he was like, "Well," I said, "What? Maybe I should go see if he wants to play." And I didn't really know the TV show Fear Factor at the time. I didn't really know Joe, but he was like, he's the host of Fear Factor. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll go play him," you know. And so I went up to him anyway. I said, "Hey, Joe, what's up, man? I'm Max. I'm the house pro here. I play professional or whatever. Maybe you want to play something?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "I know who you are." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay." So we just started talking. It was funny. For some reason, I was a vegan back then. I said, "Yeah, I'm a vegan." He goes, "Oh, really?" He said, "Why do you got leather on your shoes?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get shoes here pretty soon." Then I found out he was a comedian. So we played and just started playing more and more. And then I started giving him lessons. Went to his house. He lived in Bell Canyon, just north of LA at the time. And I was a fan of comedy, so I started going to watch his comedy over at the what's the Improv.
Yeah.
And no, we just kind of hit it off, became friends, and his comedy is really good. If you get a chance to watch him live doing some comedy.
Oh yeah, seen him in Vegas a few times, definitely.
Yeah, in Vegas. He has the mothership in Austin.
Yeah.
He had this great bit about outer space. You know, he's like how people go to the Grand Canyon and they're like, "Ooh, look at that! That's a big hole in the ground. That's amazing." He says, "Really? That's a little hole in the dirt. How about look up at outer space? Those are gigantic nuclear explosions billions of light years away." It's pretty funny the way he does. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
But no. So his fundamentals were a little similar to mine when I was younger, like shooting under my body. And that's something that I was able to fix with the help of Chan Witt and just through all my training, trying to have perfect fundamentals. So I was able to help him like get lined up to where he wasn't hitting his body. And you know, he's a Taekwondo champion, national champion.
Yeah.
So he's good with coordination and stuff. So you know, he did it and it worked for him. And his stroke got, you know, he got free from his body, and it really helped him out a lot. But he attacks everything like with a lot of focus, and he tries to get great at whatever he does. So yeah, and he's been playing pool since he was in New York, going to New York from Boston a long time ago. So he had experience. He wasn't like a beginner. But he definitely takes it serious, and it improved his game a lot. I think I know he's ran a 5-pack. You know, once he gets warmed up, he really starts running a lot of racks. So that's how that whole thing started, that friendship. And it's pretty cool to see what he's doing now. I mean, back then he didn't even have a podcast back in the day, right? But we'd all go to like breakfast after the comedy show, and he'd start talking, and he was always entertaining and a good talker anyway. So when he started the podcast, it wasn't really a surprise that it turned out to be a really good show.
Yeah. And now he's the podcast.
Yeah. And hit everything perfect timing because he was looking for something to do. And then Brian Redband was his videographer back then, who moved out Ohio to LA and became a comedy once he started hanging around Joe all the time. Became a comedian himself. But so he was like the first technical guy for that podcast. And yeah, just like they started doing it before podcasting was big, and they kind of made it big. and Joe made it big with his conversational skills, and then bringing in all these great guests and everything.
Yeah,
but he's just a natural at it. I would say, for sure.
So, we talk about instructing Joe and everything like that. So when you're teaching Joe Rogan or anybody, what do you feel like it's the most common thing that people are doing wrong when you're applying lessons to somebody?
Yeah, well, first thing I do is watch and play. I want to see where they're at. I don't have like a specific program that I'm just gonna put people into, right? So I got to see where they're at right now, what they can do, what they can't do, and then just after a few balls, then I'll usually see a few things right away, or the first rack. But usually it's the bridge hand, the setup, the stroke, right? The bridge hand is the biggest one that people are doing wrong. Even like pretty good amateurs, their bridge hand, they're not getting it solid enough, and they're not setting it up decisively enough, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big one. And then when they shoot, they're moving their bridge, and they don't even know it. So I get the slow-mo feature with my iPhone, and I make sure to film them before I start helping them out, so they can see that it's not just me telling them that they're actually doing this, right? So that's a big one. And then people aren't aiming before they get down. They're lining up, they're getting down, but they're not really online.
Mm-hmm.
And then their bridge is bad. So while they're taking their practice strokes, they're working on like getting their bridge right. And then a lot of people need help doing a correct bridge, like a good close hand bridge. And the draw shot. A lot of people have problems with the draw shot, even if they've been playing for 30 years. And that's probably the best thing that, or one of maybe I'm the best instructor on the draw shot that I've seen out there. Cause I'll take somebody who hasn't gotten help from still can't draw the ball, even though they have lessons from other teachers, but they still can't draw the ball. So I'm like, okay, we're going to get you drawing the ball. And, pretty much every time I get them drawing the ball like they never have before. Like they'll hit it, it comes back 1 foot or 2 feet, maybe 3 feet. And then within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they're drawing it back full length of the table. The draw, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts in the draw. The bridge is one that shouldn't be moving. And then this is a big one for you players back home, is the angle of the cue. That's probably the biggest thing next to the bridge that people are doing. They're not controlling the angle of the cue during the delivery of the stroke. So at that moment of contact, when the tip is touching the cue ball actually on the last stroke, everybody's doing something like different with their hand. They're like dropping their hand. That's the big mistake that the players are doing. They're dropping their hand on their final stroke, and their backhand, their grip hand. So when you drop your grip hand, the tip goes up, and then don't hit the ball as low, right? So they crank up, hit it harder, but then the ball stops or just comes back 1 foot, right? And then maybe when they're comfortable and feeling good, they get in that groove where they can dab it just right and they get that magical draw. But that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to draw the ball every time. And then once you can draw the ball, then now you gotta draw it with speed control. So, but first you got to be able to make the ball come back a good amount, right? And then now you got to work on those drills where you make the ball come back 6 inches, 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. And you got to be able to look at a spot and then make the ball come and land on that spot. So
is that the most common? Is that the most common breakthrough you find with somebody that you're teaching? Is having them draw back consistently like that?
Yes, because that's what I'm going to key in on, because you got to have a good draw shot to have a well-rounded pool game. And we'll get into the follow also. That's important too. You got to control the angle of the cue, follow through parallel to the table. That's the one time you want a level cue. On the draw shot, you're actually shooting down into the cue, down into the table. At that downward angle, you want to hit the table after you hit the cue ball. And I actually like scraping the table after I make contact with the cue ball. And if you can do that, you can hit the cue ball near the bottom and then actually scrape along the table after you hit it. If you can do that consistently, the draw is going to be really easy. But yeah, I love working on that because, you know, what's the point of playing pool if you can't draw the ball when you need to draw the ball, right? And not just draw it 1 or 2 feet. You should be able to draw it back 5, 6 feet. Like, and then when the cue ball's 3, 4, 5 feet from the object ball, that's where it really falls apart for players. They can draw it back when it's close, but once the cue ball's far away, then they'll avoid draw shots just because they can't do it, right? So that's why I get the most joy out of that, because for me, and I think for a lot of players, is when you start being able to draw the ball, that's when you really get addicted to the game, and you get more of a sense of power and skill.
I could say that for myself too. Yeah, it's as soon as I was able to do that, that's when I started feeling more comfortable.
Yeah, it pretty much releases endorphins in your brain when you hit a good draw shot like that. Like, there's no doubt. Like, it really does.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it should be your favorite shot. I know talking with Charlie about that was his favorite shot, the draw shot. And I mean, there's nothing like it to be able to hit the ball low and spin it at all distances and get a great power draw. But even more, for me, more exciting is to make it a draw back and then stop exactly where I want it to stop. And that comes from first of all, trying to do it, actually having a little target. That's one thing that I really key in on through because of my grandpa and because of Garten Bierbauer. Now, Garten Bierbauer is maybe the greatest player who's the greatest unknown player of all time, Garten Bierbauer from Ohio. And his high run in 3-cushion billiards is actually higher than the official tournament high run for all time. So I think the highest run in tournament play for 3-cushion billiards is 26. And unofficial, I think it might be 34 or 36, the all-time high run in history. And his high run is 31 in 3-cushion billiards. Garten Bierbauer. That's amazing. So he was amazing 3-cushion player.
Isn't there some big 3-cushion event going on? I want to say in like Turkey or somewhere right now. It's a big 2-week event.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I saw something with Ralph Eckert.
Oh yeah, like Sammy Saginer. He's from Turkey. He's a great player. So yeah, I'm not surprised if it's in Turkey. Korea is real big on that.
Yeah.
Well, so Garten uses the rails real well, but he landed that cue ball. He would train with he'd have a little piece of paper and put it on the table and try to land the cue ball on that paper. And so he taught me that, and so I learned how to play 9-ball, but also have small targets. So that's one thing I put in Powerful Pool DVD set when I came out with that in 2008. And nobody was talking about that, about training to really try to land on a spot. But a couple guys copied that afterward. They started talking about it. A few of the things in the DVD where it came out that were in my DVD. I won't bother getting into that, but I got that from Garten Bierbauer and from my grandpa talking to Willie Mosconi. I mean, you hear about landing on a dime.
Yeah.
But if you can actually mark the object ball and the cue ball and pick a specific spot for the cue ball to land and just shoot that same exact shot until you land on that spot, and then do it for another shot and do it for another shot, you're going to get better so much faster than if you don't do that. If you're playing for like a area this big or zones, zones are good, but pick a spot in your zone, right? You should know about the line of position, crossing the line, being on the right side of the ball. That's like good basic position play. It's real good, smart, and everything. But what they talk about, like when they talk about the legends playing, like Nick Varner, Buddy Hall, Mike Siegel, it's always about landing the cue ball. Like, the cue ball is always 2 feet from the object ball, perfect angle, You know, you don't do that by landing and playing big zone position. Or
Right.
Ralph Greenleaf, he was known for, I think he would put a dime out on the table and then land the cue ball on a dime. So it's not a new concept to try to land on a spot. But that's something that I really emphasize in my lessons and introduce to players, because most players actually have not trained like that or even attempted that. So you got all these players out there who never even attempted to land on a spot. And when they don't do it enough, right? But if you want to get better, like in the quickest time possible, then start trying to land on a spot when you're playing, and that's where the discipline comes in. Don't just do it for like 10 minutes a day, but if you can do that on every shot, at least know where you're going.
Yeah.
Imagine how good you're going to be in 1 month or 2 months if you're playing 9 hours a day, and every single shot you took, you had a target, right? Because position consists of two things, like speed and direction. When those two things are perfect, they come to an intersection, right? Which is a spot. But if you're playing for a big target like that or a zone, that's not a line. That's not speed and direction, right? It's general speed, general direction, right? So that's a big thing. And of course, shot making. You want to get your shot making down to where you're like automatic on your shots. But that'll actually improve also the more you do the cue ball. But I don't know. Everything I just said there was kind of like worth like $100,000 for an up and coming player. If you really want to, just because it was free on a podcast, don't it doesn't mean it wasn't valuable for your game. If you actually do that stuff, then you'll be surprised at how good you can get, you know, and how fast. Not that it's going to be easy, right? You're going to have to put the work in.
Put the work
in.
Like yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, he actually put the work in. So you got to do it. You got to do the work. That's where 9 to 12 hours a day comes in to get to where it just becomes a game of you see the target and then you land on the target. You see the ball, you make the ball, land the cue ball on the target, right? And then the more you do that, then the more you're able to do that. So anyway, my soapbox.
You know, Max, we talked about, you know, how you have a love of art and you trained on art and everything. Do you feel there's any similarities between art and pool?
Yeah, 100%. 100. Yeah, like Mike Massey was a good artist. I've talked to a bunch of players who actually are pretty good artists, and because that's something I've been good at since I was 3-4 years old, and my mom would put me in like art tutor when I was 5, and then I was advanced placement art. But yeah, the hand-eye coordination of drawing a precise line and visualizing, and even if you don't think you're a good artist, I would say think again. Go to Amazon and buy the book Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, and do the exercises in that book. Even if you think you're a crappy artist, just do it, and you're gonna find that you're actually a better artist than you think. Like have you guys read that book?
No. I've been in art for many years, and I've never read that book.
Yeah, that's amazing. So like they'll say like you take a somebody else's drawing or photograph and turn it upside down, and now you just focus on the lines of that image and you recreate it over here on your paper. A lot of people, they're going to have a better drawing when they do that upside down. They're copying the upside down image because they don't have a preconceived notion of what it is that they're being over here.
I guess that's why you see those guys that do those quick paintings always do it upside down.
Well, there's a trick to that. I don't know what they're doing. I think there's a gimmick there. I think there's something with black light or infrared. Something. They're just splashing. I think that's a hustle. Because they're just doing it so fast, or they practice it so many times.
5 minutes or the duration of a song.
Yeah, no, I think that's a scam actually, and I don't know what the scam is. I don't know the secret behind it, but I bet you that's a scam. Actually, that would be good to look into, because I don't know, it just looks phony to me. They're just splashing the paint around, then they turn it upside down.
Or something, yeah.
there's something goofy going on there, right? But it's, hey, they're making money at it. You know, it's like a magician. It's always a trick.
Look, it looks cool too. It's fun to see.
No, I agree. No, it's very entertaining, and more power to them for doing that, right? But that could be there could be something to that, like with the upside down drawing. But technical drawing is something I took 3 years in high school. So we got very detailed on the angles, like, you know, the 30-degree angle, 45.
Yeah.
And my teacher was a stickler on making everything perfect. So that was when I was really improving at pool. So I had the Robert Burns standard book on pool and billiards, and that was the most technically advanced pool book ever for its time. And it was all based on technical drawing principles with circles, and the line would always go to the center of the ghost ball. So for me, when I got that book, I understood everything about the diagrams because I was taking the technical drawing at the time. So I was like, oh yeah, This book is actually correct how it should be, because now I do technical drawing. And so for me, pool was really an exercise in technical drawing on the table, like the applied version of technical drawing. And you know, but throw a little physics. And I was always a football, baseball player, so I love sports. So the aspect of the throwing motion and just your talent, and then being lucky enough to have you know, good bridge hand, and my grandpa with the stroke, and you know, learning how, just having that whole influence of pool combined with the technical side, technical drawing, and being exposed to those great players at the U.S. Open when I was pretty young, and Chan Witt and the competition, and just like the vision you got to decide early on, like how good you want to be, and have big dreams. You know, that's something that I had early on, was the dream to be a great player, and to be a professional player. And so I think that's really important. Don't like don't shoot too low. Like, shoot as high as you possibly can, and then you're either going to get there or you're going to get like a lot closer than if you're just trying to be like you know, win a local tournament, because that's tough. You got to actually, if you want to win a lot of local and regional tournaments, you got to become so good that you can go in there and dominate, you know. You just got to, when it's your shot, you got to run out, bam, 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 run out. And then you got to do that in the pros also. You got to be like the most automatic player. That's one thing my grandpa told me. He said, oh, the pros, they're pretty near automatic. They pretty much live on the table. You got to be automatic. And I was like, oh, you're right. And so you got to be out, for one, you got to be automatic. When you get a shot, you got to run out. Like look who's winning. Like, anybody who's winning out there, they're automatic, right? Joshua Filler, all, you know, Shane Van Boekel.
Yep.
I was pretty much automatic for a while there, but you have to be, you know. But then the other thing is, you can't be psyched out by these guys when you're just trying to break into the pros. You can't be like, oh, put them on a pedestal. And so one thing my grandpa told me that really helped me out when I was younger was, he said, even the top players, the world champions, they all put their pants on one leg at a time. Right. So that's what you think when you're going into a match against a great player. Think, oh, this guy put his pants on one leg at a time, just like me. This guy get up and miss balls and have a bad day or one bad shot. Right. So, and you got to focus on your game. And just like Filler had a great interview a few days ago after he won the Predator. That's kind of like what he was saying. Like, oh, yeah, you can't think about your opponents, that you're probably not playing as good as you should be. I just focus on my game and keep moving forward, you know. So I mean, he's in that great headspace, and he's a great player. That's where you got to be. You got to get yourself to where you're automatic and just focus on your own game and keep moving forward.
Yeah, he was somebody, even the videos I've seen of him in his teens playing guys that are 2-3 times older than him. He didn't care. He was up there, and he was in his own zone, and he firing away. Perfect player.
Yeah, he's always had that, right? Like the confidence this kid has.
Yeah.
That's always impressive when some kid can just come out there and be confident and play their game, and winning early here. Yeah, I wish I had the confidence, the complete confidence, because I've had the game for a long time, especially when I was playing more full time. Well, I think I made it into a bigger deal, even though I had the confidence in my game and I had the game. Maybe I didn't have the break quite as well, and I think there were a couple of tough players for me. When I was ranked number 5, I always had a hard time with Archer and Mika Imanen. I've beaten Archer a few times. He's killed me a bunch of times. Mika, I only beat him once. Then some guys just have that. They're tough to play, right? Just their whole demeanor and everything. And you got to come with your game towards the end of the tournament. I was real good at doing that to the final 3. Final 4, I got a lot of 3rd, 4th place finishes in major events. But I think other players have been better than I have, obviously, at just breaking through at the end and playing their game all the way through to the end, right? Even though I've done it, I've won a lot of tournaments, won like thousands of local tournaments and regional. I won a bunch of regional events, and then the Derby 9-ball was my best finish as far as I got 2nd in the Derby as far as major event. I got a lot of 3rds and 4ths in majors, like consecutively. And then to win the Derby straight pool is my biggest pro title, so that was a big one for me to kind of grind that out. But I was always kind of like a grinder. I'd get into maybe I didn't feel like fast and comfortable, but I got to where I could play real good, like playing a little bit slower but grinding away, concentrating. Mm-hmm. It was never like real fast and free, but finally I got pissed off. I think 2003 or 4, I was like, I got to stop playing slow in these tournaments, because when I'm practicing, I'm just running around the table on 4-inch pockets. Bam, bam, bam. I might not miss for an hour or two, running out from everywhere in 9-ball, but in then tournament, I'm playing real slow. So finally, I loosened up. I said, I'm just going to stop playing slow. I'm just going to assume that I'm making everything and just play like I do when I practice. And I did. I started beating everybody. And that's when I was real close to snapping off some majors. But I didn't quite get there towards the end of the events. I still slowed down or whatever. And I don't know, maybe I partied a little too much, drank a little bit too much. I think that's where the young kids come in, where they're taking it so serious. You don't see them like partying like maybe my generation did.
No, they're running a 5K in the morning before the event.
Yeah, drinking when I was playing, or even I wasn't a problem with that. But I think even if you do that as a weekend warrior, drinking like in college. And I think it's still not a good idea. Right now, I'm very focused. I don't really drink. Once in a while, I might have a glass of wine. So I think actually the next couple of years will be maybe even my best results professionally. Just because my diet's real good, my habits are real good. I'm 53 years old. I'm probably in the best shape that I've ever been in. Especially in a few months, I'm going to be in the best shape ever, because I'm putting a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah.
So you can still do it. I stopped eating vegetable oil a couple of years ago. That's a bad one. Everybody, if you take one thing away from this podcast, is stop eating seed oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. I don't care if the bottle says heart healthy or not. That's the biggest poison. There's Dr. Chris Kenobi on YouTube. Put his name in there and watch his lectures. It's like a 45-minute lecture. And he breaks down how the vegetable oils are the main driver of all degenerative diseases over the last 100 years, more so than sugar. Vegetable oil, it's like motor oil. They can't, like Crisco is actually cottonseed oil, which they were using for motors. And then the Rockefeller family had this idea that they could trick everybody and call it food. So you got people are eating margarine. That's not even food. That's plastic.
Yep.
And it's causing heart disease, cancer, diabetes, obesity.
When everyone was using lard, everything was fine.
What's that?
When people were using lard, everything was fine.
You got it. Yeah, lard and real butter. And so fried foods are a real epidemic. And I think the restaurant owners need to take more ownership, because now the information's out there that this stuff is poison. So I don't think it's it's not ethical. Just because it's cheaper to put vegetable oil into the food that you're selling the public doesn't mean that it's ethical to do so, right? So oh yeah, it's cheaper, yeah, but it's still poison. So, and a lot of people, well, we know it's bad for you, but we really didn't until a couple of years ago how bad it was for you. Like potato chips are bad. Well, I don't know why they're bad, so I would still eat potato chips and French fries. But now we know that one French fry is the same as smoking one cigarette. That's how bad it is for one French fry. Imagine eating like 100 French fries.
Well, yeah,
That's
thankfully we got what's his name, Bobby Kennedy Jr. bringing an eye to this stuff now and banning these colors and oils that are going around.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, the American Heart Association has vegetable oil listed as a heart healthy option, or at least that's what they allow label of the vegetable oil. So there's still a lot of money behind vegetable oil. It's like big oil, and there's a lot of money in sickness for the medical industry to treat all the sick, right? So I would ask all the owners of restaurants and the pool halls to consider using beef tallow instead of vegetable oil, and actually do some research on how bad this stuff is for you at Dr. Chris Kenobi on YouTube, and watch that a few times. I've probably seen the lecture like 100 times.
Wow.
I mean, it's really, really serious. This guy has a nonprofit foundation to bring awareness about it, about ancestral diets. So if you have people who eat nothing but sweet potatoes, and that's their entire diet, or nothing but meat, like the Inuit Eskimos, they're still going to be healthier than people who eat vegetable oil, whether it's like carnivore diet or a vegan diet. As long as you're eating whole foods, like real food, then you're going to be healthy, or you have a chance to be healthy. Like right now, I'm more carnivore, but yams are a great option. Sweet potatoes, but you just got to go check out that lecture by Chris Kenobi.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to throw the link in at the bottom.
Yeah. I'll get off because I consider myself the vegetable oil police. With restaurant, fucking the waitress every time.
If you guys don't want to get onto ProPoolAcademy.com, you could always get onto Max's vegetable oil podcast that he has.
Need to do one. Oh, well, but there's another reason, because of your eyes. So the vegetable oil has been linked to macular degeneration, age-related macular degeneration, which is basically non-existent before vegetable oil became a big part of our diets. So if you want your eyes to go bad, you want to be missing balls, go ahead, keep eating the vegetable oil. By the time you're 35, your eyes start to go bad from the vegetable oil. So it takes about 30 years for the vegetable oil to really kick in and like really mess up your body. But it's a long beat down, right? So it's hard to reverse. It takes 2 years for half of it to leave your body.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, people can laugh at me and all this stuff about, but don't you want to have good vision so you can make the ball? You want to feel good so you can run, right? That's the whole point. Like, keep yourself healthy so you can actually play the best pool of your life into your 80s and 90s.
Yeah, my grandfather passed away recently, 95 years old, and the guy was a beast. He was driving himself around late in life, and it seems like our older generations were so much more healthier because they had less of that shit to deal with. Now it's like even myself, I was one of those guys that was at McDonald's like 2 times a day for breakfast, for dinner. It's like I look, I'm still a fat fuck, but I don't eat that stuff. I think I had McDonald's maybe once in the past 3 months, and it was horrible. It's getting so worse now. So like what Max is saying, do it for yourself. Put some longevity in your life. if it's not for your pool game, put some longevity in your life.
Absolutely. And if you want to get in great shape, just go to Dr. Nash Jokic on YouTube. I'll send you the link. But this guy's a bodybuilder. He's won 17 titles, and he's a doctor. He's got like 10 ebooks and a bunch of books out. But I've been binging on this guy's channel for the last like month, and like he'll seriously get you in the best shape of your life if you follow his advice. Basically, a high protein, medium fat, low carb diet or no carb. Right? If you can do that, and then you only 2 or 3 times a day, and also do the workout routine, basically each body part once per week, and do it in the form that he recommends. You're going to be a lean, mean fighting machine in 3 to 6. So everything, you can change all that. I know how it is on the road. I was eating all that garbage like in 2011.
Yeah, just because it's
convenient. It was bad. What's that?
No, I'm just saying, just because it's convenient, doesn't mean that it's always the best option.
Oh man, you're right. Yeah, I was up to 190 pounds. I think I'm 160 right now. But back then, I had never been that heavy, and I was, eating all the vegetable oils and a lot of it's just going to Denny's and like a Waffle House.
Yeah.
And they cook their food with margarine and vegetable oil, and it's just regular food. It's not even junk food, right? You think that you're eating just normal, good food, but they're putting the food supply. That's the problem. So you got to actively go against it. Every time you have contact with any food, read all the ingredients, talk to the waitress, ask her not to put in any oil, tell her you're allergic to vegetable oil. I mean, you got to be vigilant for your health because attack from the air, they're spraying us in the air, these chemtrails. That's a documented fact. It's not even conspiracy. They admit to it. Bill Gates trying to block out the sun. They're spraying glyphosate on everything, putting vegetable oil in our food. I mean, it's an attack from all directions on everybody's health. It's like,
even with these things, it's they're killing us.
Well, you know why those are bad, right?
Yeah, from the waves.
Well, because they broadcast from your phone into one, and then that broadcasts to the other one through your head. It doesn't go to each one from the phone, right? So that's why I don't use those. I only use the one with the cables on them, because I don't want to get that signal through my head. So that's something to think about. Maybe only wear one of them. Maybe wear the receiver, but don't wear the other one, so it doesn't transmit to the other one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed any difference after you wear those for a little while. Do you feel funny at all?
Yeah,
or not?
But I used to play hockey, so I got many concussions anyway. So. Max, we covered so much, about how you got started and health and oils and everything like that. I got a couple rapid fire questions I'd like to throw at you real quick, and then we'll get you out of here. Best pure shooter you ever seen?
Pure shooter, as in what, shot making or?
Yeah, best shot maker.
Best shot maker. Best shot maker. I mean, I guess Joshua Filler.
Joshua Filler. Best overall player.
Best overall player, Nick Varner.
Most underrated player.
Most underrated player. Lee Van Corteza.
Toughest opponent you personally faced.
Efren Reyes.
One thing about amateurs they should stop doing immediately.
Eating vegetable oil.
One thing they should start doing immediately. Same answer.
Okay. Amateurs? As in, like, just anybody at the amateur level trying to get better?
Yeah.
Stop worrying about Fargo raids.
God, thank you.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a bit about that last week. We watched so much pool between me, Jeff, and Diana. Sometimes I'll have it on my TV, but most of the time I'll have it on my iPad, and I'll catch the chat. Everybody in the chat is a 1,000 Fargo. They've never done anything wrong, but everybody else on TV, they would critique Joshua Filler, about how much better they are. It was just ridiculous, about the shit we see in these live chats. But
right,
Max, when I first started the Q-Tang clan, it was 100% about gear. I talked about cues and different ball sets and tables and everything like that. I had another show that I did with another partner, but he went batty, so I evolved the Q-Tang clan into the total package here. We do recaps, interviews, and we also talk about gear. One of my favorite things is what's in your bag and your weapon of choice. So what's your weapon of choice? Tell me about your cue.
I'm using a Mucci Pro Series 5 custom juiced by Bob Mucci on the lathe. So he tapers it by hand so that it has a little more spring to it when you hit the butt. So it's a Bob Mucci special. And I was using the Pro shaft until 2 months ago. I started using a Wheat State shaft by Steve Dubas, one of the guys behind White Carbon Technology.
That's what I use, White Carbon.
Okay, well, I might be doing a signature line with Steve with my specs on the shaft, so where people can get the same shaft. And so keep your eye out for that. I'll post that on social media.
Yeah, definitely let us know about that. I would love to take a look at
it. I'm using a Sniper 3 brake jump cue. Let's see. Yeah, I just started using that a few days ago. And I also have a James Handshoe jump cue, which is amazing. So that's a great pure jump cue. And now I have this great brake cue that also jumps, which is a Sniper 3. And you can get a hold of me for any of those. And I've been loving the Zan Hybrid Max and the Zan Premium Soft Tips for a couple years. But now Ralph Souquet gave me a Kaiser tip a couple months ago. That's his tip, Kaiser Soft. And that's what I'm using now. It's a great tip, actually. So I might use that again my next tip, but it's holding up real good. But it's a soft tip, but I like a medium or a soft or somewhere. Yeah, and I have a JB case at the moment.
Best case there is.
Yeah, it's a great case. John Barton, he's a great guy too.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Max, because I've been a supporter of John for a very long time. I know a lot of people like to give him shit and like to point out, all the explosions that he has. But I always thought he was a great guy and by far the best case I've ever owned, JB case.
Yeah, it's very good. Him and his wife do a great job.
Yes, they do.
And even I get into it with John sometimes, but we're friends. We're always cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my equipment. I also have a front extension by James Handshoe, which is amazing. Actually, you guys should check that out. It's a great product.
I did a unboxing video for that, and I played with it for a few weeks and did a video on the forward extension. It's great.
Okay, I have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you. Yeah, I did it about a year ago now when he brought it. Matter of fact, he brought it to Super Billiards Expo. I had just released the video for him. Yeah, I thought it's great. And, it's very innovative. A lot of times the butt attachment it weighs down your cue and it feels like a brick. Especially, I play with a Viking butt, and their extensions are made out of aluminum. They're very heavy, and I was loving that forward extension when I got it. I still got it. Jeff, we've covered everything with Max, all the questions, all my quick fires. Jeff, you know what time it is, man. Do you want to start the?
I mean, yeah, a little bit of Mosconi Cup stuff here, because I mean, I guess we go back to leading into the Mosconi Cup a little bit back in like 2019. You were Kremlin Cup, and you're the USA versus Russia. You had you had a heck of a match with Federer in that.
Yeah, that was
Hill and Federer missed a jump shot, and you made one ridiculous kick shot on the 2-ball.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was a great match, exciting. I remember I was in the bathroom. We were supposed to start, and I was still in the bathroom. I was getting ready, and Federer knocked on the door. He's like, "Come on, man, we're up." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then we rushed out, and live TV, and they introduced us, and then we played. Yeah, I was in dead stroke. I felt like I was supposed to win if I just play my game the way I was playing. Like, I was like, how can I lose? I'm playing like this. But it even in the match, I wasn't playing as good as I was actually playing, but I kind of fought my way through it and made some good shots. And but yeah, the training was great. With Johan was our captain, and we all trained real serious, and we actually trained with the Russian team. Like we'd team up with them. There were a few days we were there before the competition, so we kind of trained with ourselves, and then we trained with the Russian team, and it was a great experience actually over there in Moscow, beautiful city, and yeah, that was a good match. And then after that match, I went to the international. I think I beat Skylar Woodward and Chris Melling in that tournament, so 2 Mosconi Cup MVPs, and I made it pretty far in the tournament. So did Corey Deuel, but Bergman made it to fourth place, and I think they really wanted him on the team, and he had a great showing, so he went. And then there were a couple other years where I was ranked 5th in 2003 and 4, and but they had a wild card. They took the top 4, and then they put Earl got on with the wild card, so I wasn't quite ranked high enough to make the Mosconi on those 2 years either, because I was ranked 5th, right? So maybe that goes into your next question. You're going to ask about something more about the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, should we switch up how we're doing things at all? Like, I mean, different coaches, different trainings. Should they just pick straight 5, the top 5, and be done with it? I mean, any thoughts on the selection process?
Well, yeah. I mean, look at my position where I've been. I didn't make the team twice because I was ranked 5th.
Right.
And then the other time in 2019, it was more of a selection between me and Corey or Justin, even though I had beaten Justin several times leading up to that in the preliminaries all year. We had like a little training camp, and I won that training camp, beat Justin in the finals, and that's how I got to go to Russia to represent the team. So it was supposed to be between me and Corey, yet they picked Justin anyway because of his 4th place. But I've gotten 4th in tons of majors during the 20 years ago, but 4th place never got me onto the Mosconi Cup team. Right. So he just showed up 4th in one tournament, and now he's on the Mosconi Cup, right? They wanted him on the team, right? Yeah, he deserves it 100%, but Emily wants young players, and they wanted him on the team. Mark Wilson, and was real close with Justin. He was doing the commentary at the international. Justin deserves it 100%. Great player. But my thought is you got to earn it, right? So, of course, and then the other times where I didn't get on the team because I was ranked 5th, they put Earl on, who was ranked 11th. But Earl's the big star, and everybody wants the Earl show. Earl's great. I'm an Earl fan, and I'm his friend. But he got on because he's Earl Strickland, right?
Right.
So, yeah, of course, my answer is top 5 guys ranked on the World 9-Ball Tour at the end of the year, top 5 American players. And that's it. There's no other. I think you should be American born, USA player, and you shouldn't be able to switch teams or whatever. Even though big fan of Thorsten Holm, and he's a great friend of mine. The guy's maybe the best ambassador for pool ever in history, and Federer's a great ambassador for pool. But these guys were they're born in another country. They grew up in another country, and they've already been on the European team, right?
Yep.
I think it would be better to have American-born players, the top 5 ranked American guys every year. End of discussion. There should be no politics whatsoever. And now you got to play and prove it, right? You can't just be there because somebody wants you on the team. Okay, big deal. You're not on the team, right? Yeah, if you get ranked top 5, now you're on the team. I want the top performing 5 guys throughout that whole year, based on whatever the point system is or the money system is, and that's how you get the most confident, best playing team. With all this selection process, what that does introduce doubt and maybe a couple guys who didn't earn it, who aren't playing as good.
Create some divide between the people that are there.
Yeah, so I think that I'm right on this. I don't think there's a debate on it, and it's not even a debate. It's just that's the right way to do it. Period. There's no debate, right? But I always say Matchroom is an English company. They're going to do what they want. So we don't really. It doesn't matter what we want, what the American players want, because we own Matchroom. It's not an American event, right? So all this talk by the Americans, it's just like blabber. They're just going to do what they want. Period. Right?
It's their ballpark. It's their ballpark. We're just their world. We're living in it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the whole point of a ranking system of a Mosconi race if that's just kind of bullshit? It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. Forget about the Mosconi race points, Mosconi Cup. It doesn't mean anything, right? Well, top 3, they should say, if you can get ranked top 3, and then the other 2 picks are going to be political picks. But that's bullshit. Who wants bullshit? Like it should be meritocracy, right? They keep hinting at it, throws that word around, but she doesn't actually implement it into the whole race, right? Either you're doing it right or you're not, right? Just do it right for one time. Start it now and then do it correct every year after now, and then there's no more discussion.
I got a feeling this year we're going to have only 2 players that are actually Americans.
No.
Oh, really?
No, I think we're going to have 4. I don't think. I think we'll still have 4. I think Federer will make it, but we'll still have 4 full-blown Americans.
Oh, you think Bergman's
I don't. This year? I think Bergman will be a shoe-in. I don't think Thorsten makes it.
Well, Thorsten is American now. He's American.
Yeah, he's American now, but I don't know if he'll get the points to make it. It'll be interesting. It'll be close.
He might.
And then we got Atencio.
Atencio hasn't switched.
Oh, it's not official though?
No, it is not. He was still playing in the PLP under his other country.
Oh, wow.
So
the other side of it is, because I know they're not going to do it what I think is the right way, I kind of like say, okay, whatever, just it is what it is. And go ahead. Good luck, guys. If you get on the team, you're an American citizen now, or you lived here for a couple of years and you got your residency, and then the guys, Matchroom wants you on the team. Whatever. I just don't put much credibility into it anymore, or just because of that, because it's not being done correctly, in my opinion, right? I mean, even though Thorsten and Federer are 2 of the best teammates you could have for any team,
100%
in the world, right? But this is supposed to be the USA versus Europe, right? So the only correct way to do it is 5 American players from born and raised in America versus the top 5 in Europe, and it should be based on the ranking, right? If you want a professional sport, or but again, it doesn't really matter what I say, or because it's not based on what I say. Right. So I just say whatever it is, have fun, and actually, because it's like that, I wish Thorsten and Federer the best, or anybody else who makes it. It's just another. Well, it's their main big team that they do, but it's not necessarily what it's promoted to be. But I would actually I would like to make a good run at it. Even though I'm 53, I think I have a chance to even get ranked top 3. I think I could be ranked number 1 if I played 9-12 hours a day, was fully sponsored. I think I can beat all these guys. That's how I feel. I think I can make that team based on ranking, and I don't even care so much about. It's not even about the team. I think the USA players should focus more on winning major events before the Mosconi Cup, instead of trying to get enough points to be on the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah,
let's get Americans winning majors, and then it'll be a better team anyway, right?
Yeah,
and that was Charlie's idea. Charlie mentioned that a couple years ago on Facebook. And I think he's right that the American players should focus more on winning an individual major, and then the Mosconi's just great, right?
Yeah, if you're a U.S. player and you win an individual major, you're just going to be on the team regardless. So focus on winning an individual major.
Yeah.
You
should be wanting to win every event anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be the focus, instead of trying to get on this political team event that you might not get onto, even if just because you didn't quite get ranked high enough,
After all said and done, and you're not, chasing events to qualify for the Mosconi Cup, would you ever see yourself as a coach, American coach?
Captain, you mean? Like Mosconi
Cup
captain? Yeah, actually, I got the email. They're taking applications, and I would love to do that, but I'm not done as a player, and I think I want to accomplish something great, because I think it'll be good just before I try to go into that, throw my hat into that ring. I still have unfinished business as a player. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah. But I would do it if they wanted me to do it. But they want someone to apply, somebody who wants to do it, instead of just like, this guy would be good. They want somebody who really wants to do it. And that's just not where I'm at. My head's at right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I want to get in there and compete. I mean, it's a huge challenge to get in there and play. Not only play great pool, but play great pool against all these great young guys. Only one guy wins every one of these tournaments, right? And all these guys are great, right? But they're all losing except for one guy. And there's a few guys who win, but it's tough. There's some great players who still haven't won yet on that tour, or on any tour. I mean, really great, legendary players. A lot.
Yeah.
Who have never won first.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge, right? It's a big challenge, and not only to be a great player, but to be a great player 10 matches in a row in one tournament. It's tough, even if you're consistent in the top. I did it. I got third place in 3 majors in a row back in 2004, I think it was. And not Efren Reyes didn't even do that year. No professional had done that all year except for me, but I didn't win any of them.
Wow.
But I made it to the top 3 in 3 majors in a row. No one had done that. And I still didn't win a major. That's it's tough. It's tough to win one and to place high consistently, and then to do it like on a shoestring where you're trying to get sponsored. Or back then I was sponsored, right? But and hopefully I am again this year, because I just signed the contract with the World 9-Ball Tour with Matchroom to be a WNT pro this year. But that doesn't give me any money, right? So I still have to come up with all the money. But
right.
My rankings, I was sent that contract, invited to be a WNT pro, which I didn't sign it last year, but I signed it this year. And hopefully somebody out there would like to sponsor me on tour. But I'm going to approach some companies outside of the billiard industry, because I think they have a lot more money. And I think that it's like getting money out of these pool companies is like squeezing water from a rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's what pool needs. Pool needs outside sponsorship to grow, because the pool companies can't do it.
Or they don't want to do it. I mean, yeah, right. You're right. Can't, but some of the big ones can. But they want to give you like a shaft, and then they want you to wear their patch, and now you're a sponsored player. Like these kids, like there's amateur players, they get a free tip and a patch, and they're wearing the patch, and they're like, I'm a sponsored player, woohoo, but they don't even have $20 from that tip. They don't even have gas money or a flight, right? So the industry, well, it should change, but well, yeah, we need a lot of money from the outside, or to come up with something totally different. But Emily's doing a lot of work, and so is Predator. Karim at Predator, they're putting a lot of money in. I'd like to 10x, like that contract with the Saudis. Thank you for the Saudis and Emily. Good job. I would have rather seen $100 million contract, because, you know, like $10 million over 10 years. You know, they offered Saudis offered Phil Mickelson $500 million just to play on their tour.
Mm-hmm.
One player just to go up. We $10 million for all the pool players for 10 years. That means the prize money is actually getting worse every year. If the first place is 250,000 with inflation, that prize actually is shrinking every year. It should be increasing every year, right? So it should be more like $100 million over 10 years, with the prize money gradually increasing. So by the time we get to 10 years from now, it's actually big money where it's supposed to be, right? Because right now it looks big, and it is big. I mean, shoot, if I won that, got 250,000. I mean, who wouldn't be happy with that, right?
Right. It's good money.
But really, it should be 2.5 million or 12.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look at the hay ball payouts.
Yeah. And Emily's made that comment. She, there's no money in pool. There's no money in pool. You know, so I know she's sweating it actually behind the scenes. Even though she always has great announcement and news. So she's probably got a lot of tricks up her sleeve that I don't know about, and she's always doing good things. So there's stuff I don't even know about, and there's money involved. But I think you know, that it could be a lot bigger, and she knows that. I know she's trying to get money. So is Matchroom. I mean, so is Karim with the Pro Billiard Series.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
they seem to be doing a little bit better job about it than Emily.
Oh, Karim?
Yeah.
You mean more? Well, 250,000 for the World Championships is bigger than any of the Predator tournaments, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But their tournaments are bigger on average, maybe, with the prize money, right?
Yeah.
So I look at it. I don't know the exact numbers. It would be nice to see like 100 pros or 150 pros, millionaires. That's where I see the sport. So I got a lot of ideas for that, and you know, maybe one day I'll get into promotion, but right now I'm focused on playing more and teaching. So if you want a lesson with me, you can contact me through Instagram, set up a personal lesson. I can fly to you, or you can fly to me, or lessons and clinics. I'll just throw that out there. I'm doing that more, because I can, because it really helps. You know, I know I can help a player, and but I really would like to practice more. There's so much I want to do with pool. You know, it all takes a lot of money. So even the plans that I have, I need a lot of money to do them.
Yep.
You know.
Let me read off Max's socials. You can contact Max on any of his socials. He's on TikTok and Instagram, official Max Eberle, Facebook and YouTube at Max Eberle. Don't forget his books: Zen Pool, Awaken the Master Within, Play Pool in the Zone. He's got the Powerful Pool DVD and the website, ProPoolAcademy.com. Lifetime access for $200 with 100% money back guarantee. Also, don't forget Max is at BC Billiards in Sebring, Florida right now. Gave a shout out to these guys earlier. Please, if you want to get a hold of Max, obviously he's his lessons pay dividends and they show proof. Just look at the testimonials from all over his website on ProPoolAcademy.com. If you don't believe any of the people on there, you can believe Joe Rogan. I think his glowing reviews speak volumes for what Max can do to a pool player. Jeff, you got anything else for Max?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Max, I can't thank you enough for joining us. This is by far, man. I couldn't even sleep. I was so excited to do the interview. I was so excited to have you on. what you've done for pool and your stature as a player and as an instructor, with me and Jeff and everybody else out there, aces. So thank you, brother. Keep doing your thing, man. You saying that you want to go for the Mosconi Cup and you're not done, and man, we're all pulling for you, brother. We can't tell you that enough.
Well, thank you, Robert and Jeff, and we just want to mention Emily Frazier is doing a great job. I hope she comes out with the best thing ever. I'm actually rooting for her and for Karim to do great things. I wanted to throw that in there because we were talking about that, and I think they are doing great things, and I hope they keep doing bigger stuff. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thanks for all the kind words, and I wish you guys all the best on your show. Keep doing the great stuff. And the Gangster
Absolutely.
Pool.
Thank you,
about
my friend.
Loves the name, the Gangster of Pool.
It's people think because I'm Italian that I'm a gangster, but I was actually in a pool hall, and they were playing that Steve Miller song, the Joker, the Gangster of Love, and I was playing, and I yelled out after I sunk the 9-ball. I was like, "You can call me the Gangster of Pool," as the song was playing. So it kind of stuck. I'm not a gangster. Right. I've never robbed anybody off of the pool table, but that's it's a myth. I'm not a connected man, even though I have vowels in my name. I'm not a connected man.
Okay, right. That's good to clarify. Cool, man. Cool.
Well, we're sorry Diana couldn't be here for this. She was with us in spirit, and she'll be back next time. But for myself and Jeff and Max Eberle, thank you guys for joining us. Max, thank you for being here. We went almost 2 hours, man. This has been outstanding. This is something I'm gonna, as soon as we click off here, I'm gonna go back and watch. So thank you, Max. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.